And all of a sudden I hear her go, Aaron, my legs are stuck. Aaron, my legs are stuck.
Oh.
My legs were stuck.
And he's standing at the bottom of the steps just giggling, like cracking up. And she goes, no, like seriously, my legs are stuck.
You're listening to The Calm,
The Storm,
The Whimsy
podcast. So today we thought that it would be super fun to discuss our week. Sometimes it gets really chaotic, and so we just thought that we would share with you what it looked like to be friends for a week.
A week in the life of the calm, the storm, the whimsy.
Oh my. Do we have a lot to share?
Well, what do we start with?
Well, I think we start with Sunday, which is the first day of the week.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because I believe that's actually when the beginning of the chaos started, correct?
Sunday.
Would have been
because we got that text
hospital
early
morning.
in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Text. What, like 5:30 in the morning, I
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the beginning. I believe that's the beginning.
And then
Right.
she called me. It was like 7 something. She's not okay.
No.
She was scared.
Yeah. So my son
Super scared.
had an asthma attack again, and I tried to treat it at home. And then I woke up around 5 a.m. and he was not doing well. So I said I have to go to the hospital. I rushed him to the hospital, and we got there and they told me that there were no rooms available and the waiting room was completely empty. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. So maybe literally every room is packed right now. And so I'm sitting in the waiting room with him, and you could literally hear him wheezing from across the room. Like, they kept looking at me and going, oh, he sounds terrible. Oh, he sounds terrible.
Usually they rush them back.
They usually do. But the nurse seemed a little off to me. It was just a
like
different
she wasn't paying attention.
or just like she was kind of quirky. Like she wasn't like as attentive as a lot of them are.
Mm-hmm.
And she kept looking at me. This was not a good choice on her part. And going, oh, I know, Mama. Soon, Mama. And I'm like, okay. And then I let her say it once. And then about 5 minutes later, she looked at me again and goes, I know, soon, Mama. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, but I'm in a hospital and he can't breathe. So at what point do you just bring medicine out into the waiting room and make sure he's okay? And she's like, oh, she's not. Like, she realized I wasn't happy. And so she took me to a room and we stood there while they cleaned out a room because I was like, this is not okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess they didn't have enough nurses on staff at the moment. So it wasn't even like too many people. It was too little staff. But it was like, I've been to the hospital a lot for asthma, and usually I'm super calm and I'm usually able to just go with it and deal with it because I'm used to it now. But this time he was not responding to the treatment and I was getting really nervous. And they gave him 3 back-to-back treatments. They gave him a steroid and he puked it up, which he's never done that before either. But I guess when like you can't breathe, your stomach, they'll like push everything out that they possibly can so that they can breathe. So the steroid that he needed got spit up. So they did an IV and put magnesium in him, which I thought was weird. Mm-hmm. But I guess it's like a muscle relaxer so air can flow. But the thing that frustrated me was they made me wait. And then they were talking about the PICU. And I'm like, well, maybe we should have got back here sooner.
Right. I sat in the waiting room forever.
Yeah. So I tried to call Kelly and I couldn't get a hold of her. I tried to call my husband, and I couldn't get a hold of him. I don't know if I called you or texted you.
I think I got your text at like 7
Yeah.
or like 6:40 or 6:30.
Maybe I was just texting people at that time because there was so many people like rushing in the room, and I was really overwhelmed, and I was just starting to get scared because when they put the IV in his hand, he barely even like made a noise, which that means he's not okay. So I made you call my husband. for me.
Yeah. So I woke up at like, I think like 6:30 to the text that Kelly and I had gotten at like 5:30 saying that you were going to the hospital, that he wasn't okay. And I was like, okay. So I started texting you, making sure that you were okay, everything was fine. And she's like, it's not fine. And I'm like, okay, what can I do? And she's like, I need you to get my kids or possibly get my kids. I'm trying to call my mother-in-law. Maybe Kelly can take them. So like we were like in this in between, and I wasn't sure if Kelly was awake yet. Like I didn't know.
I think I woke up at like 7.
Well, usually you wake up to phone calls, not text. I think I was only texting at that point.
I think so.
Yeah.
And so then I started texting you outside of our group text because I was like, if Kelly's sleeping, then I'm waking. I feel like it's like dinging or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you said, can you call Chris? He needs to come down here. And I was like, oh no. I'm like, you want me to call Chris?
Yeah.
But when I talked to you, you hadn't talked to him either. Because then you called Tori.
Yeah.
you
Nobody.
couldn't
No,
get a
I
hold of
kept.
him.
Oh, that kid. I kept doing that like find my phone alert. So it's
Oh,
going,
in
ding,
her-
ding,
yeah.
ding, and she just kept ignoring it. She thought I was trying to wake her up because I just wanted her to wake up.
Oh my goodness. I
Like,
didn't
if I
know
ever
that was
do that
happening.
to you again, do not ignore me. I needed Dad.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. So yeah, so I called.
And he always wakes up.
Well, and that's what
Always.
you said. He's not going to wake up to a text, but he'll wake up to a phone call, and I can't call him right now because everything's happening. IVs are going in, all this stuff. Doctors are in here, and I'm like, I'll call. That's fine. So I called him, and he didn't answer, and I'm like, So he didn't answer.
I went and banged on the window.
Oh my gosh. And so then I text him, and I said, hey, call me ASAP if you get my text. And then I was like, okay, Aaron, I think I'm going to need to call him again. Like, I just need to probably call him again. And then the second time I called, he answered.
Yeah.
And
So then
so that was the
you-
beginning of, like, the
the
process of
crazy. Yeah.
all of that. But, like, when you tell me that you need him down there, like, I was certainly concerned.
Yeah.
Way more. Like, I'm always concerned when you take him.
Yeah.
But when you want Chris down there,
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't good.
Yeah, it was
right.
really scary. And I thought we were going to be stuck there. But and then the doctor, then he ended up packing all my stuff. He's so funny because he told me, Kelly, he dropped them off at your house and was like, do you have Diet Coke for her? I didn't ask for that. He
That's
just
hilarious.
wanted it. And
He,
you're
he
like,
didn't say her. He said, do you have any
Diet Coke. And you said, no, I have Diet Mountain Dew. And he's like, yeah, she's not going to drink that. You thought it was for him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So he packed all the things, brought all my kids to your house for church, which they were excited about. And I'm like,
yeah, it was Sunday morning.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right.
And then you took them to soccer.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Because this is actually what happened. I fully remember now. You asked me if I was going to church.
Okay.
And I said,
Oh,
are
yeah.
you being funny right now? Because that's a question I get asked often.
Oh.
And then she's like, I need this. And I'm like, oh, wait.
Not
I'm sorry.
funny.
That's not funny. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I remember.
But then when he got there, it took a turn for the better because they gave him his steroid through his IV too. So he got a lot better and we went home.
yeah,
I-
you didn't have to stay.
No.
Even though they admitted you,
Yeah.
right?
They did. They admitted me, but they didn't move us up there.
Okay.
And he's like, you were right. Patience paid off. Like the steroid worked. So just wake up every 3 to 4 hours and treat him for the next couple days, which is what I did.
Oh, my.
Crazy.
So
So,
I like to say what a week is like for the calm and the whimsy because of the storm.
oh,
Well, during church,
Yeah.
when all the kids were here, I vaguely remember something being said, and I just totally brushed it off because, I have 4 kids, and I'm like, well, somebody's not screaming. I'm sure they're fine.
Oh, no.
I think Lenny might have handled it. I don't even remember. But I heard Hudson just bit Tori, and I just let it go.
what?
I didn't ask if anybody was okay. I don't know who they said it to. I'm like, And then later this week, they're like, you got to think about stuff that happened this week. I'm like, wait a minute. I think Hudson bit Tori.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like, well, that's not very good of me. I have all her kids. One's biting the other. I don't know that's happening.
Oh.
And then I never even told her. So yeah, Hudson bit Tori at our house.
Okay.
So then I said to Eliza today, I'm like, did Hudson bite Tori? Like, did I hear that right? It's like a week later. That happened a week ago. She's like, yeah. And I'm like, can you kind of give me the backstory? Because I have no idea. I guess they were playing on the trapeze. Tori pushed him off. He hit his tailbone and he got hurt and he jumped on top of her and bit her in the arm.
But it's fine. Everything's fine.
Tori's like, you gotta save me because Hudson gets real mad sometimes. Lenny must have handled all of that. I forgot to ask him about it.
He bit her.
I guess, but it must not have been bad because she didn't come to me for like,
She
wasn't bleeding.
Like, to be honest, though, she probably deserved it.
But I'm like, oh my gosh, I have her kids and they're biting each other.
She's like, whatever.
We just let it go.
You're like, we're trying to pray up here. Close the door.
Well, it was
My
like, I think it
gosh.
was in the afternoon.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Oh, it wasn't during church.
But it's funny because, like, years ago, if you hear that, you jump up and be like, what happened? What happened? What happened? Are you okay? Are you okay? Now you're like, we'll see how they react.
Is anybody
Let's give
bleeding?
it a few minutes.
I don't hear much crying.
Did he bite her again? Like,
Just like
Wow.
when Ike got bit by the dog. Like,
yes.
I heard a scream and I'm like, okay, remain calm. Just listen. And then I heard him again. I'm like, okay, that's not okay.
Oh, man.
Yikes.
So, yeah.
So was there anything for you on Sunday, or are we moving on to Monday?
How do
I
you
think we're
remember
moving
your
on
days?
onto
By
Monday.
like the day. My whole week's like a big whoop. It's right here.
I actually don't remember the days. It was only registering for me because she did that.
Oh.
Yes. So I think that was the rest of my Sunday.
Yeah.
It was pretty calm after that.
Yeah.
And so Monday comes, and I was picking up our middle schoolers.
Yeah, and you offered to pick up my other kids, even though your
Yes.
kids don't go to school there anymore.
Yes. Yep. So I was getting the other kids, and I was in a lot of traffic, and I wasn't sure I was going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, I got to get off the highway, and I had to go the back way. And I actually said out loud to our children, if this was your mother, she would not have been able to get off the highway here and know where she was going without her GPS. Because Tori's like, how do you know where you're going? And I'm like, I just know.
Whatever.
So it was pretty fun. Yep. So I get there,
Yeah.
get kids.
Yeah. So earlier in the weekend, we went and looked for appliances because our dishwasher just stopped working. We had to push a chair up next to the door to keep it closed. And now it's also like not really washing dishes well. And my fridge has been giving me like anxiety since we lived there because it's just falling apart. Like the drawers are falling apart, the shelves are falling apart, everything's falling apart. I have like toy bins in there to put my produce in and all these things.
There's like shelves that are missing.
Yeah,
Yes.
drawers are gone.
Yeah, and it's really a small fridge. Like, I didn't realize how small it was. And so Aaron actually told us about an outlet store we didn't know existed that has appliances. So we went and looked at it. There was really good deal with financing. And so we got all new appliances. We got a fridge, we got a stove, and a dishwasher. And I was so excited. That's how you know you're getting old, when you're super excited about appliances.
Right? Kitchen appliances. Woohoo.
Do you just like sit and look at them? Like,
No, but
Do you rub them?
No, but like when I open the refrigerator door, I'm like, like I love it so much. There's so much space. So I was home by myself when the appliances were being delivered. And there's a lot of things I feel like I can handle. Okay. I can go to the hospital by myself and deal with all that. There's a lot that I feel like I can do, but getting my oil changed is stressful because they always ask me if I want to do this, and this, and I don't know what any of it means. And like when like the cable guy comes or the internet guy comes or
Yes.
something gets delivered, all very overwhelming to me because I just feel, I don't know, like I can't.
Like you don't know the answers to whatever they're gonna ask you.
Yeah. So dude shows up with our delivery order, and he comes up to my door. He's like, yeah, the fridge isn't going to make it in. And I'm like, well, what do you mean the fridge isn't going to make it in? I need this many inches. The fridge isn't going in. It's bigger than that. Even if I take the doors off, it's like barely going to fit. And I said, okay, well, what do you do in a situation like this? And he goes, well, just take it back. And I'm like, no, you're not taking the refrigerator back. I said, let me just call my husband real quick. So I called him, and he told me, just see if Aaron's home and he can help you. Because I was like panicking. I didn't know how to deal with this guy. He wasn't super nice. And the woman that was with him did not speak any English. So every time I tried to talk to her, she just looked at me like I was a crazy woman. So Aaron, I called him and he answered, and he's probably going to stop answering the phone when I call. Because
He's the only one who answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He answered my call this week,
Yeah,
too.
he's really good at answering the phone. But he might stop for me. So I'm like, are you busy right now? Because I kind of need your help. Is there any way you can come down here and just make sure I'm not like being bullied by this man who just doesn't want to carry a fridge up my stairs? Because that sucks.
Oh, yeah.
So that was actually my thought later, too.
Yeah, I think that is what it was.
That's what it was.
So he's like, yeah, no problem. So he comes down.
Oh, I didn't think about that. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's got to go up those steps.
Yeah.
Can I pause for a minute?
Yeah.
Did he already take the dishwasher and the stove oven up already before he told you that the
The fridge wasn't going to fit?
wouldn't fit?
No.
Okay.
No. So then when Aaron's on his way down, I told him my neighbor's coming. Can you just take the other stuff in and he'll be here to help? Because he's good at stuff like this. So Aaron comes down, which is hilarious. I'm like, I need you to help me. My husband's not here. Get over here. So he comes over and he measures for me. And he's like, well, the frame will probably have to come off in order to get it in. And he tells the guy, I will take the frame off. And the guy's like, no. That's not how we do delivery. No, this is not part of the delivery process. I will give you 5 minutes to get that frame off. So Aaron goes and gets his tools, and I have never seen him.
I had just gotten there, right?
Yeah. So I called you, and I'm like, P.S., your husband's here. I borrowed him. If you're
This is
curious.
what's happening.
Yeah.
You're going to have to park in the street to drop the kids off because everybody's in the driveway.
Yes. So I have never seen anybody move so fast. Aaron's like, zzz, 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 like pulling things off, and the guy's just standing there, like arms crossed, looking at his watch. I'm like thinking you could be taking the doors off the fridge like you're supposed to do if you can't fit the fridge in. Like he told me when he got there, we can take the doors off. But he's just standing there with an attitude. Looking at Aaron.
Watching Aaron take the door frame off.
Yep. He starts pulling everything off, and I look over, and the woman's closing the door, raising the thing, and I go, don't you even think about taking my refrigerator.
Oh.
That's thousands of dollars! And she's yelling, okay? Listen. So then,
Uh-huh.
but before that...
But that lady couldn't understand you.
I know, but he could. But she could understand my face,
So was
I
he
think.
standing by you, or was he in the truck?
He was standing by
us.
Just being a punk.
Oh.
But when Aaron left, his truck was in front of the delivery truck. And they started packing up.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and I was like, they're not leaving here. So I went and got in my van and pulled my van in front of his truck. And I was like, and this woman like gets in the truck. The back is closed, right?
Yeah,
she closed the back.
With your fridge inside.
Yep.
Fridge is still inside. The gate went up and she turns the truck on. And I'm like, are you going to hit me now? Because you can't go in that ditch. If you go in that ditch, you're here way longer than 5 minutes. And like,
Did she respond to you?
No. Nothing.
And the man was like, this isn't how we do delivery. And Crystal's like, she paid for this. You're not leaving until you do your job.
He's like, I'm leaving. And I said, I think you're not leaving. And like, we got really intense. Like,
And then Tori goes, I think maybe you should just be patient. And I'm like, oh no.
I mean, like yelling. She was yelling at him. Hillary was yelling at him. I was yelling at him.
He was so mean.
He was so
rude.
mean. All Hillary said was, can we have a conversation? Can we just talk about this? Like, can you be kind?
Yeah.
You're
You
not being
said-
very
I
kind.
said, you don't have to be rude. You're being really
Yeah.
rude right now.
And he just walked away from us. And then Aaron came back, and he intended to park his truck back in front of him, but
The van was there.
My van was there because this man was leaving. Like,
yeah.
I swear that if I wouldn't have parked there, he would have left
Yeah.
in the moment, and all of that was
So then
happening.
Aaron gets the frame off. They're still there. They got the refrigerator out, moved it up, because I was like, you're not taking the refrigerator. Get it out of the truck right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so he went back. They got the refrigerator out, dropped it off like in front of my door stoop. And Aaron had everything off, and he measured it again, and he looked at Aaron, and Aaron goes, it is going to be tight, but it'll go. And the guy's like, bruh, it's not going to fit, bruh. And Aaron's like, it's going to fit. And he's like, no, bro, it's not going to fit. And Aaron goes, are you going to take the doors off of the refrigerator, or do I have to do that too? And I'm like, oh my gosh. He goes, I'm leaving. The guy just starts walking to his car. He goes,
Aaron?
move your van, please.
Aaron follows him to
And he goes,
his
you're going to take the doors off the fridge. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
and we're like, he's like, I'm calling the police right now.
The truck driver.
The truck driver.
Wait.
He called the police.
He called the police.
No, I hope did they come?
They didn't.
They did
because
not.
Aaron's like, just move the van.
At that point, Aaron was like, just move the van and let him leave.
Yeah. And
Because he'll handle the rest of it. He's like, I'll handle
They
it.
left?
They
They left. The delivery, and we yelled, this is not delivery. He goes, that's delivery.
Yeah.
And left it.
But you pay extra money for them to do this.
Yeah.
And
They're probably like, no, I'm not taking that up the step. Did they
That's-
take anything else up the step?
yeah, they did.
I almost guarantee you, after we thought about it,
That's why.
that's why.
Yeah. And
He
then
saw the steps, and he was like, oh,
No
heck
way.
How
no.
did you get it up there?
let's get to that now. So my husband's like, I was like, this is not good. These people threatened to call the police. They did call the police. Aaron is yelling at them. I'm yelling at them. Crystal's yelling at them. This is not going good. He goes, Hillary, I said, he just took the whole door frame off. He's dealing with the fridge. He goes, please tell him to stop and go home. All we wanted him to do was talk to the guy. He wasn't supposed to get in this deep. I'll deal with the rest when we get home. And Aaron just ignored me. Like,
He was in like that mode of like,
it's going
get
in.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to show you that this is going in this door, and somebody better video it
Yeah.
because this is ridiculous.
Yeah. So I said, I can help you. And he goes, no, the last time you tried to help me with something, you got stuck underneath it. Because he had me help him lift a grill up on the deck because Crystal couldn't one day, and I got stuck underneath it.
What deck?
Their deck.
Our deck.
So he refused to let me help. So Crystal and Aaron carried my refrigerator up those
Did they
steps.
use a dolly?
No.
Wait, what?
No.
Why?
Because they're crazy. So I'm recording, taking pictures, and my hand was over my face like most of the time. Crystal's at the top of the refrigerator. Aaron's at the bottom. And he's like, I'll take all the weight. You just have to guide me. So she's like a little lady, right? This refrigerator is huge.
Heavy.
Yes.
Very heavy.
I'm watching this happen. I felt terrible. And so he's like going up the steps, and all of a sudden I hear her go, Aaron, my legs are stuck. Aaron, my legs are stuck.
Oh.
My legs were stuck.
And he's standing at the bottom of the steps just giggling, like cracking up. And she goes, no, like seriously, my legs are stuck.
They were stuck. I had visions of me having no legs and thinking to myself, what is happening right now? Like, my legs, I was actually sitting down on the step because my legs were all the way underneath of the refrigerator, and I had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And so he just
would've
kept telling
panicked.
me to push it forward and that he had the weight. And I'm like, okay. So I pushed it forward and I was able to stand up, and then we continued to take the refrigerator up the steps.
Then
It's not over yet?
Oh my gosh.
it's not over.
It's not over yet.
Oh my god.
Then it's in my kitchen. I'm apologizing profusely because I literally just wanted him to like come defend me and see if I was wrong or the guy was wrong. Okay. So Aaron's like, we got this. We're good. He's putting the refrigerator back together.
We're putting the drawers together. The kids are helping us. We're just doing it all.
I'm in the living room and I look in the kitchen and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's too tall.
No.
It's too tall. And Aaron goes,
Oh my gosh.
Did you not measure before?
We couldn't
did.
tell from where we were standing because it was like at the angle, but where she was sitting, it was like this.
Yeah, too tall.
And I was like,
It was like an inch,
my
right?
gosh,
Or a half an inch.
So it wasn't that much,
Yeah.
but enough.
Yeah. So he measured things, but he missed that part of it. So Aaron, of course, just knew how to solve the problem, though. He just disconnected the cabinet, moved it up real quick, and shoved my refrigerator in there. But my husband comes home, and my house is full of people and
Furniture
everywhere.
Everywhere, 'cause
Aaron
it's
and
not
Crystal
in
are
his space.
sweaty and just cracking. I mean, they laughed through the whole thing. I was mortified.
She was like, if you said this to Chris, if Chris and I would have done what you did today, we would have not talked for a week.
Yeah, we would have fought.
Like,
We would've-
fought the whole time. She's like, how did you guys do that?
Can you imagine?
No.
You and Lenny carrying a refrigerator
No.
up the stairs?
Nope.
It was insane.
No.
Because I think you asked
would die.
to help.
Yeah.
And he said, no, she's got it.
Yeah. And they just like coached each other the whole time. And I'm like,
And they didn't like bang your walls or anything?
no. It was
Wow.
crazy.
Just my legs got stuck.
Yeah, she has bruises.
I have bruises.
It was insane.
It would be really hard, really, to move furniture or anything up there. I didn't think about that.
Well, we paid
after-
for it. Get a different job.
Just saying.
After carrying it
She
up there,
feels bad for the delivery people.
No, I feel bad for them.
I am I would have been like, no, that's not happening. But they had those straps.
Yeah.
They would have been
they have ways to do
fine.
it, and probably a dolly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they like
Well,
attached.
they almost knocked the refrigerator over as
'Cause
it
he was being a
He
jerk.
was a jerk with the dolly, and I'm like, we're not. Aaron didn't want him to go in with it because he was afraid that he was going to destroy
because he was mad.
house or refrigerator or something.
Wow.
So then while they're like putting it all in, I get a text that says, were you satisfied with your customer service today? Press this if you were, press this if you weren't, and someone will give you a call. And they called me. And I was like, I am not paying for delivery because we did everything. They did not deliver this. And he's like, are you saying they refused to do their job? And I'm like, 100% yes. He was super rude, didn't do what they were supposed to do. And Aaron went so fast. It's not like they had to sit and watch for an hour. It was like
Oh my
minutes.
goodness. I mean, he was drilling those screws out as
So
fast as
fast.
he could.
Yeah. It was insane.
Screws were flying.
So what'd
like,
they do? Did they do anything for you?
Yeah, we just got the money back.
Oh.
But it was crazy.
But literally, like 5 minutes after we got it upstairs, she gets the text, and I'm like, "Really? Like right now? Because that's great." Like,
yeah. It was nuts. And then we get all that hooked up, and my husband goes to hook up the dishwasher, and a piece of it broke, and water was pouring through the ceiling.
downstairs. Yeah. Stop! You didn't tell me that part.
So I've been doing dishes in my bathtub.
Oh my gosh.
Naomi went in there the
Yeah.
other day before your party, Crystal.
Oh yeah.
And she came out, she goes, Mom, there are dishes in the bathtub. Like, yeah, I know, honey. It's okay.
Oh my gosh. She's probably like, "What is happening, Mom?"
They were just soaking in there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is Monday.
Yeah.
So this is 2 days of our week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Is that not insane?
That is insane.
Wow.
So what about you, Kelly?
I can't remember what days
That's
things
fine.
happened.
What
Just-
else?
Yep.
It wasn't like that.
All right. Well, what was it like, Whimsy?
I don't know. My kids didn't have school, so we had fall break. So that was super nice.
Yeah.
And I don't really remember everything that happened. I mean, I did take some notes on a few things that were funny.
Okay.
So the other day, Leo comes in my room at like 2:00 in the morning. He goes, like those hiccups that hurt.
Oh no.
He can't stop hiccuping. And I'm like half out of it. And like usually when they come in the room, I struggle because I'm so tired. Like the next day I'm like, did I handle that okay? So anyway, he's like, Mom, I can't stop hiccuping. And I'm like, okay, drink some water. I'm like, drink some water. And he's like, I did, Mom. And I'm like, hold your breath. And he's like, Mom, nothing. I'm like, and then he starts, it hurts. Like he's like, he's tearing up. He's like, this has been going on forever. And I've drank like 3 bottles of water. I can't get it to stop. And Lenny's out of it too. He's like, just lay in the bed with us here and just try to like stretch out and breathe. And he's like, okay. So he gets in and like it just keeps happening. And I'm so tired. I'm like, would it be really funny if I just scared him right now? So I'm laying there half asleep. They probably think I'm sleeping. Lenny's talking to Leo, and I'm going, wah! And Lenny goes, what? And then he goes, oh, Kelly. And Leo's like, cracking up, and then he's like, Dad, she was just trying to help me.
Oh my gosh!
So, just so you know, at 2 a.m, acting like, then I couldn't stop laughing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to get out of this room. Lenny's going to be really mad because I can't stop cracking. I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever done. So, I'm like, all right, I probably made him really mad. But then he was just like, oh my gosh. So then I'm like, Leo, let's go downstairs. So I'm like on Google, how do I stop hiccups at 2 a.m? I'm tired. That's what I typed in. No, I'm just kidding. So we tried all these things. I gave him a bag, and he's like breathing in the bag, and he got ticked off, and he threw it because he's still like, they just aren't stopping. And I keep cracking up because I can't stop thinking about Lenny going, what? Oh, Kelly. So then I finally gave him a spoonful of sugar, and it stopped. But that whole time, I'm like cracking up, and Leo's got this funny look on his face, quietly laughing and just shaking his head like, oh, Mom. Like, really?
So did Lenny ever laugh about it?
I don't think so. I did tell people about it the next day. He probably just is like, whatever.
Wow. That's amazing.
That is amazing. I love it.
Yeah. So I have other highlights, but...
Go for it.
Okay.
Because I have some. I'll come in after you.
Okay. I just have to say something real quick.
I'll say one more, and then you can go, and then I'll go later. What?
I feel like we've already described the names that we have for ourselves on this podcast.
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
The storm, mass chaos. I'm at the hospital. I need help. I have a refrigerator being delivered. I need help. I'm freaking out. And Crystal's like, we got this. Okay. Yes, let's take it up the stairs. Okay, my legs are stuck, but Erin. Okay. Oh, they're good now. I got this. Okay, I'm ready. And then Kelly's like, and I scared my husband to death in the middle of the night. And then I laughed the night away.
It was so funny though. I was so tired, and I'm laying there. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, it'd be so funny if I did this, but I'm so tired.
It was worth it, wasn't it?
I should just do it. And my brain's like, no, you're too tired. No, just do it.
She got you.
She just got me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here's another whimsy thing. So my boys are both playing tackle football. I have a 4th grader and a 6th grader, and they both made it to the playoffs. And I hadn't got to see my niece play volleyball at all. And it's like the end of her season. And I'm like, okay, I think I can make it to her game, come home, and then go to their games. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to get all dressed in my gear, my bulldog gear, okay? Because we're bulldogs.
Oh, my goodness.
So I get the girls all ready, and we're all ready. And I'm like, on the way there, I'm like, to Liza, I'm like, I really hope they're not playing bulldogs. I'm like, but there's no way. So we go in there.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm dressed, I'm in all black, and I got my Nike Dunks on, and
Orange
my
shoelaces.
with your shoelaces
that
and your
say Bulldogs, and on the back it says McKinney, because it's the shirt that Hillary made me.
Yeah.
My boys. Okay. So we're standing there, and I'm like, Christine comes out to get us in, and I'm like, wait, who are you guys playing? She goes, oh, Canton McKinley. And I'm like, oh no, they're the Bulldogs. And she's like, what? So here I am with a shirt that says Bulldogs. It was orange and they're red. But I have a big Bulldog shirt on all of us. All 3 of, me and Eliza and Naomi. And then on the back, our hair's long. So you see an M and a Y. So it looks like it says McKinley on the back.
Oh my
My
gosh.
brother's like, what is happening? You're here like cheering for the other team.
That is so.
They're the Irish, and I'm here dressed in all black because I'm like, I got to get home and get my kids ready and get out the door. I'm like, what are the odds of all the schools in Ohio? How many Bulldog teams are there? And what are the odds that my niece's team is playing the Bulldogs and I show up in Bulldog stuff?
That is so amazing.
And if it would have been all orange, it would have been fine.
But no, it was
they're
black.
and red.
Yeah.
But I was all in black with just the orange Bulldogs. So it's like, it still says Bulldogs, and then it looks like it says McKinley on the back of my shirt.
I
Go
love it.
Irish!
I'm on the. Are you on the wrong side?
Oh,
So
wow.
ridiculous.
Wow.
sounds about right.
Ay. So for us this week, so we had all of the things going on
With the storm.
with the storm. So that night after we carried the refrigerator up, she decided that she was going to feed us and that she was going to make everyone in her family help us take all of our furniture off of our deck
to get ready
so
for
that
the
we
potty.
could get ready for the party.
the potty.
Because we were going to power wash our deck that night and power wash all of our furniture. That didn't happen because we were there for a while. So we ended up, everybody helped us get all the furniture off, and so that was great. And we got into the garage, and then we had dinner. And so our week looked like all the work that was going to have to happen so that we could have our big Oktoberfest party that was going to be on Friday. And Erin was just feeling really overwhelmed and like stressed because power washing had to happen, mowing had to happen. He needed to do a million things, okay? So he wakes up to a text message from his brother that the ceiling in his apartment is leaking, which is not a text that Erin wants to get because the apartment has been completed inside, like in the basement, for over a year now. Ugh. So he's like, why is this leaking? Like, what is it? What is happening? So that started his day off bad. It was terrible. He was like in the worst mood ever. And so he thought that it was the washer line because like the washer in his mom and dad's apartment is like right above there. And like the drain line, he was thinking, oh, maybe I put a nail through it or something while I was remodeling. And so that was like the worst case scenario. So he's like building this case up in his head like, oh my gosh, this is going to be terrible. I'm going to have to take down all the ceiling, all this wood, all this stuff. And so I remember texting Hillary, like, the ceiling is leaking. He's in a really bad mood. Oh, he's in the basement playing Zelda, which is how he like decompresses. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and she's like, no, not Zelda.
You're like, he's been down there for 4 days.
He won't come out of the basement. So it was crazy because that was like one of that just like shut him down. And he was like, I can't do any more work. He's like, I can't do anything for the party. I can't think about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a nightmare. Well, we did find out that it is not the drain line. It is actually the toilet in their bathroom, which is closer to the area where it was leaking, and he thinks that it's just the wax ring that just needs replaced because it's only when they flush the toilet, and so it just happened to go bad. Right
That's
now.
a better problem.
And we think that it had just started happening, so like it hadn't been up there for a while, just leaking over time. So, yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
The thing is, it's hard to even remember what happens in my week.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what happened?
Because you are just living in the moment.
Yeah.
Well, I did call both of you. Was it Wednesday? Tuesday?
It was Tuesday.
Oh my gosh, we're only on Tuesday?
Yeah, because I picked kids up again.
It's like,
Oh, yeah.
sorry, listeners, this is going to be a 6-hour podcast.
This is what I was thinking. I'm like, oh my goodness. it is only Tuesday.
I think the week got
and this
better,
is what
though.
happened.
So I woke up and Grant wasn't great still, even though I did all of those treatments. And I was like, I just want to go to the doctor and see if what I've been doing is working. I called the doctor. I asked for availability for an appointment, and I was driving home from picking them or dropping them off at school, and it was like 9:10. And she's like, I have an opening at 9:15. That's the only one I have. And I'm like, I can make that. So I get off the phone, I turn around, and I'm like, I've been wearing the same clothes for like 3 days. I for sure don't have a bra on right now. My hair is on the top of my head, and I think maybe one eye of makeup is still left. And I look like I shouldn't be going out in public, but I'm going to do it.
So they like gave you that form like 3 times. Is there any trouble at home?
Yeah.
Do you need any help?
Do you feel in danger?
Because you look in danger. So she checked him and sent me right back to the ER. Anyway.
Ugh.
And so Crystal was willing to pick my kids up again, but I went home, packed a bag because I'm like, they're going to admit us. I like packed. It's the first time I've ever packed for any hospital visit. I get there. I put a bra on. I put comfortable pants on.
You put a bra on when you got there?
No.
Did you change your shirt because it had white stuff that was all over the back of it from
leaning up against the house
siding? Yeah.
Like dust
Powder
from
dust
the siding.
from the siding?
Yeah.
Oh,
and I
that
didn't
dust.
even think about it being on my back. So I don't know what else is left for that story. Oh, then I got to the hospital and they said, yeah, he doesn't need to be here.
Oh my goodness. Which is so frustrating.
But they did give him another steroid. And I think that really is what kicked it. So I'm kind of glad. But the doctor could have done that. I didn't have to go back to the ER.
I have to share one more thing.
Yes, please.
So we went to my parents' house and we were weeding for them because it's really hard for them to weed. So we were weeding, and then I had to go to the store to pick up some food because we were like putting some food in our freezer, stocking our freezer with some meat from the butcher down the road. So anyway, I told Leo, kept going, Mom, will you throw the football with me? I'm like, buddy, I have to go. When I come back, I can do that. And my mom goes, hey, like, Papa can throw the ball with him. So my dad can't really walk much anymore, or he's very off balance. I'm like, what? And she goes, he can just sit in the walker and throw the ball. So he has been throwing them the ball, and he was like doing plays with them. It was so cool. And my dad goes,
Aw.
I haven't thrown the football for like 25 years. This feels so good.
Oh.
So he did it last week, and they both won their games. So then this week he's like, you guys got to come back. So we went back this week, and he threw him passes, and it was just so cool.
Oh, I love
And he loved
that.
it. But my
That's
mom's
fun.
like, at night his arms like burn.
Oh.
He works hard. He's
Yeah.
throwing that ball.
That's so cool.
So it was just kind of one of those moments that you're gonna remember forever.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So then we ended our week with Oktoberfest,
It was so fun.
and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Perfect weather.
the weather was great,
The food was awesome.
and the cook.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
he
The
was
cook.
doing such a good job.
You know, I mean, hey, we recovered from the week, and he was still able to cook and have fun.
It was
So
awesome.
It was super fun. Super fun. Okay, thank you for listening to this episode of Our Life. Can you believe all the things that happen in 1 week? Mostly in 3 days. But again, thank you for listening. We really appreciate everyone who listens to our podcast. Keep listening, and we will be back next week. Thank you for listening to the Calm, the Storm, the Whimsy podcast. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram. Stay tuned for our next episode.
I take my shirt off real quick?
Yes, please.
Yes,
my hoodie?
please.
Yeah.
Not my shirt.
Please.
I hope that's an Easter egg at some point. Can I take my shirt off real quick?
It's hot.
It's probably been 30 to 40 minutes, just so you know.
Oh my god.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have a bra on, guys.
Probably more like 30.
Okay.
I hope that wasn't on there.
I have no.
It
It's on
always
there.
is.
Can she move the microphone up?
It
How do you
won't
do
go
it?
up. It keeps falling.
Oh. Yeah. Into the microphone. Oh, okay. She's eating it.
Keep my mouth.
I don't.
We need
It's
to do
okay. I
that
can't.
video.
I'll do that again.
We need to have that on. We need to do those videos with those faces.
Yes.
Okay.